Sam, would now be a good time for Mom to make a video? It looks like you're pretty sleepy right now and going to nap, so maybe you won't bark? Do you think you could do that? He's like, please leave me alone so I can sleep. Hi Flosstube, thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is Shiloh and I'm a cross stitcher, knitter, and new crocheter living in Nova Scotia, Canada. You can find links to my social media profiles down in the description box below, and I'll also have a link to a Google Doc with descriptions of all the projects I'm working on, because I'm hoping that I will inspire and enable you to start a million things, because if I'm doing it, you need to do it too, right? So it's been a while since my last video, which I feel like is how I'm starting all of my most recent videos. I feel like the last 3 videos I recorded, I said, it's been a while since my last video. This has been a busy year. I'm in my final year of residency and there's been a lot of studying going on, so not a lot of time for filming. However, I did write part 1 of my licensing exam on March 2nd. I feel like it went well. I don't get my results till March 31st, which feels like forever to wait. But fingers crossed I passed, and then I write part 2. Well, it's an oral exam, so I complete part 2 in May. Hopefully I pass that, and then if all goes well, I'll be a fully licensed psychiatrist starting my first real person job in July at the hospital here. So very exciting, and I'm just, waiting, trying to keep myself busy with crafting, because now I don't have to spend every spare moment studying. That being said, I do have a lot of progress on my projects to show, because it's been 3 months since I last filmed, and in between studying, I was doing a lot of stitching to try to de-stress. So I got a lot of stuff to show you. Also, I mentioned I'm a new crocheter, so I picked up crochet. I think back in January, I decided I wanted to learn how to make a crochet granny square, and I am now obsessed with crochet. It is so fast, so fun, and relaxing, and I love how quickly it eats up yarn, because I was able to use a ton of my mini skeins and scraps to make a blanket, which I completed, so I will show you that. In terms of other life stuff, Spencer and I went on a trip to the Dominican in February for a week, and that was amazing. I did need to study on the beach, but I'd much rather study on the beach than at home in the snow. So that was a great time. The weather was fantastic, and we had a really nice, relaxing time, although we missed Sam like crazy. Sam is doing well. We did have an incident a couple weeks ago where with the dog walker, he ate a Ziploc bag, gave himself a bowel obstruction, needed to be in the hospital for 2 nights getting IV fluids, but it passed. He's all good now. But the poor little pup's got little shaved front legs from his IVs that are taking a while to grow back in. So anyway, never a dull moment with him. He's doing well. He's almost 18 months, so pretty soon he will be getting the snip, and it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that, given that when he had to wear a cone for 2 days at the hospital, he was not happy at all. So all good here. The weather is finally starting to warm up a bit. All of our snow has melted, and I'm really excited for spring. So, okay, enough about what's been going on. Let's show you my projects. So I do have a couple of cross stitch finishes, which is exciting. The first finish I have is Ink Circle's Forest Flower. And I had started this back in 2000, I think, and then just put it away as I do. And then when I was digging through my projects, I found it and I was like, I need to finish this. So I worked on this over the past couple months, got it finished. Actually did a lot of the stitching on this when we were in the Dominican in the afternoons, which was so fun. And it is now finished. I don't have it here with me because it is currently at Michael's waiting to get framed. So hopefully I'm picking that up in the next week or so. I stitched it with all the called for Gentle Arts threads, except for the blue, which was Brethren blue, and it was out of stock when I started it, and I just used the DMC sub instead, which I think was DMC 924. The fabric I used was Zweigart 32 count vintage autumn fields, which I think is now discontinued, which is a shame because it's a gorgeous fabric and I love it. So that was a really fun stitch and inspired me to start another Ink Circles piece very similar, which I'll show you a bit later. So really excited to get that one framed and up on my wall. I already have the perfect spot picked out for it. Just have to get Spencer on board with making more holes in the wall because he's not used to that. All right, next finish is this chart, C is for Coffee by Heartstring Samplery. And this was a stitch along hosted by Carolyn at Off the Grid Needle Arts through her shop Evertotes. So it was a complete kit with the Roxy Flossco conversion. And we did a stitch along over 4 weeks. Carolyn had divided up the chart where we stitched this border 1 week, sorry for the glare, this border the next week, the cup the 3rd week, and then the words and steam the 4th week. And it was a really fun way of doing a stitch along where it was like, here's what you do. It was like a small amount, so it was really easy to complete in that amount of time. And I got it done. Here it is. Apologies for the hoop wrinkles. So there's my C is for Coffee, and it is so cute. So this is on 32 count Panettone linen, 32 count Snickerdoodle linen, which came with the kit, and all of the Roxy Flossco conversion. It's so cute. I love it. I really want to frame this in like a circular white frame. I think that'd be really cute. I just am not sure where about to go finding one of those. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Because I really feel like either that or like a square frame with a circular mat. But this is going to go in our kitchen. I am not a coffee drinker. I find it makes me way too anxious. When I drink it, I get all jittery and no one needs me to be more energetic than I already am. So I'm very much a tea drinker, but Spencer loves coffee. So this will go in our kitchen for him. Also, I just had to join in on the stitch along because otherwise I would have had severe FOMO. So, okay, let's show you my other finish, which is crochet. But just in this finishes section, it seems to go nicely. There's no way I'm gonna be able to fit this whole blanket in the screen. Here is it folded up, but this is my first ever crochet blanket finish. I'll try to show some of it. It's very big. So there's some of it there and there and there. So this is a corner to corner crochet blanket. So you start in one corner, you gradually increase basically until you've used up half of your yarn, which gets you to one of the corners, and then you decrease from there. So it's a square. I'll put a picture in here because it's really hard to show because it's so gigantic. This was so much fun. So it's super easy. It's all just double crochet and then some chain stitches. So super, super easy to do, especially for a crochet noob like me. What I used is I just basically used up, I had a ton of mini skeins and I used up, I don't know, I want to say like 80 of them. Like there was a lot of mini skeins. So I just changed colors. I should note that they were all fingering weight mini skeins and I held them double, which gave me like a DK weight, and I used a 5mm hook. So I would just crochet until I reached the end of the color, and then I would attach the next color with a magic knot and then keep going. So I had no ends to weave in except my first and last end. So I had so much fun going through all my colors. The spare bedroom where I'm currently filming was kind of a disaster for a while because I had all of the minis laid out so that I could make sure it was like a nice rainbowy fade. So I told Spencer, I'm like, don't go in that room. You will be very stressed if you open the room and see the amount of yarn that is on this bed. But I finished it and I'm so happy with how it turned out. And it is so warm and snuggly and I love it. Sam is also very much a fan. When I was working on it, he would constantly be trying to eat the little mini yarn balls because it was the perfect size to fit in his mouth. But now that it's finished, he hasn't tried to eat it, which is good. So yeah, that's my crochet blanket. So I had decided I wanted to learn to crochet because I saw, I was seeing crochet granny squares, I felt like all the time on Instagram. And I was like, I really want to make those. And then one of my favorite yarn dyers, Area 51 Fibers, who does self-striping yarn, was selling a bunch of 10-gram mini skeins. So I got a whole load of them here. So I was like, ooh, I feel like that would be perfect to make some crochet granny squares with. So these are all 10-gram self-striping mini skeins, which they're like $4 each, right? So you can't resist. So they're all like these beautiful colors, so much fun. So I thought that'd be perfect to make a blanket. I had never crocheted in my life. My first square looked atrocious and I had to rip it out and redo it. But after watching a bunch of crochet tutorials, it finally clicked for me. I found Sigoni Macaroni, I think that's her name. Her video is super helpful, as well as a couple others that I don't remember, but I basically just kept Googling on YouTube. I kept YouTubing videos for how to make a crochet granny square until I found something that clicked, and it was kind of watching a combination of videos that really helped it click for me. So that being said, I've kind of gone granny square crazy. Woo! They're so much fun to make. Oh, I actually have a couple more. Okay. They're so much fun to make, and I did a bunch of these on the plane when we were flying to the Dominican because it's so portable with the tiny little skeins and a crochet hook. So I'll show you some of my squares. So they're so much fun to make with the self-striping yarn because you get the color changes without having to do any color changes yourself. So I have all different colors. Just going to check here. I think I did 7 rounds. Yeah, so I did 7 rounds of the granny square, which basically used up pretty much all of the 10-gram mini skeins. So lots of cute squares. I have lots of ends to weave in for all of these. So my plan is I have, I think, like, I don't even know how many skeins. I have a lot of skeins. I think in order to make a blanket the size I want, I need about 96 squares. So I think I have about 35 or so here. So I still have quite a ways to go, but I have a lot more skeins. So I have a bunch balled up here, ready to go. For my hook, I am using a 3.25 millimeter, and I'm using the granny square pattern I'm using is called Scrappy Granny by Nitty Natty, and she actually just recently finished her giant granny square blanket, which has inspired me to keep going on this one. I have some Cascade Heritage, just kind of like a plain neutral yarn that I'm going to crochet 1 extra round around each of these and then join them together, which Nitty Natty I think also has a tutorial or instructions or something on how to do that. So I think this will look fantastic, and I'm really excited to keep going with it. So that is my current crochet obsession. I also have a ton of stitching WIPs to show you because there was a period in January where I was very stressed about the exam, and so I was like, I need to work on all my WIPs as a way to calm myself. So let's go through all of my WIPs. With my biggest WIP, which is Bewitched Park by Artisy Designs, and I have reached the 70% mark on this. It's huge. Here it is. So it's amazing. I love it. It is so gigantic. It's going to be 31 inches across when it is complete. It's 19 inches tall. I'm stitching it on 18 count Aida with 2 strands of called for DMC. And look how pretty it is. I love the reflection here. My threads everywhere. It looks so pretty. So yeah, this is coming along nicely. Still aiming for an August 13th finish, which is our 1-year wedding anniversary. And I think I can do it. Love it. It's so fun to stitch, although I am ready for it to be over. So I've been working on this for quite a while, and I'm ready to start another full coverage piece. I have like 3 or 4 I want to start, but I promised myself I wouldn't start any more until I'm done this one. So getting closer. Okay, another project I've been working on is my Modern Folk Embroidery 2023 stitch along, which is Reaching Skyward. And I have now finished about 8,000 stitches, So this was all released as one pattern, but broken up into sections per month. And I'm not following the sections listed because the first section was like a lot of border. So I'm just stitching 4,000 stitches per month. I got behind in February because studying. So I've now officially finished 8,000 stitches, which is up to February. So I am behind, but I'm hoping to get at least another 2,000 stitches done in March, and then I can hopefully catch up in April. But look how pretty this is. I am just loving it. Loving this fabric. So this fabric is 36 count Rocky Mountain linen by XJU Design. And I'm using Roxy Floss. The lighter color is Brazen, the gold color, and the dark color is Brunette. So pretty. I'm really, really happy with this and hoping to get a bit more on it done so I'm not too far behind, but I'm happy with how the progress I've made given that life has been crazy lately. And I've also been working on a lot of other things, so it's hard to just focus on one. Okay, another modern folk embroidery piece that is a new start since I last filmed is Forget Me Not. So this is a piece I am stitching along with Catherine, who is Paper Crane Stitches on Instagram. I met Catherine last year at Stitch North, and I'm excited to see her again this year at Stitch North. And we started this piece together because we are both obsessed with modern folk embroidery designs. So here is my start, and my camera does funky things to this. So this is white, it's not turquoise. I know it sometimes looks turquoise, but it is white. So I am stitching this on 46 count peanut brittle linen by Roxy Floss Co., which is now discontinued. Sad, sad, sad. And I'm using DMC 3371 for the brown and 3865 for the white. So these are teeny tiny stitches on 46 count. It's so pretty. I haven't worked on this one in a little while. I want to get back to it, but I've been focusing on the stitch along. So it's going to be huge, like all my projects, but it's super fun to work on. Okay, I do have a couple other modern folk embroidery pieces I've been working on. So this one I hadn't picked up in a while, and this was part of my, in January when I went and just worked on all my WIPs. So this video is kind of a bit of a WIP parade too, because I feel like I worked on almost all my WIPs in January. So this is Isabella's Heart by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I'm stitching it with all the called for materials, which are all Roxy Floss. So the linen is called, I don't remember. I think it's called Billie Jean. And I'm using all the called for colors. So this is so pretty. I love how this is coming. And I'm getting close to the halfway mark. And this is 32 count, 2/2. So that is Isabella's Heart. Continuing with our modern folk embroidery theme, this next one here is a Fractor Love Sampler, also by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I'm also stitching this one on peanut brittle linen, which is sadly discontinued. This is just gonna, apologies for the light shining through. So I'm stitching on peanut brittle linen with Roxy Floss Co. Falu Red, and it is so pretty. It's so pretty. This is 36 count, 2/2. I love the variegation in here. The fabric isn't, that's kind of more close to the color there. It's so pretty. Yeah, so I'm making good progress on that one. Okay, I think that's all the modern folk embroidery pieces I'm working on currently. I would love to start about 16 more. Anyone relate? All right, let's show some more of my WIPs. I told you I have a lot to show. This next one is Fish and Ships. Fish and Ships, we'll call it that. It's the letter N, so how do you pronounce that? By Long Dog Samplers, and I am having so much fun on this one. I have done quite a bit on this lately because I just couldn't put it down. I loved stitching this sea horse creature here and the snake and all those little fishes, which the bubbles are coming up out of its mouth. It's so cute. So this has been a lot of fun just to see all the different motifs emerge. I'm using DMC 3865, 2 strands over 2 on 32 count blue spruce Zweigart linen. It's so pretty. I am almost at the halfway mark, so this is coming along nicely, and I'm hoping to get this one done this year. Famous last words. Yeah. The problem with working on a bunch of WIPs at a time is I'm like, oh, I love this designer. I want to start 6 more pieces by them. And then you end up with, 50 WIPs, which is probably close to what I have, if not more. Yeah. There's just so many good patterns out there. Okay, another designer rabbit hole I went down was ink circles. So I had finished Forest Flower and I was like, I need to start all the ink circles designs. So before I started all of them, I pulled out another old ink circles WIP, and this one is called Second Chances, and it's this gorgeous sampler all stitched in purples. I have a decent start on this. I hadn't worked on it in a while, but I pulled it out and I got a bit more done. So I'm using all the called for Weeks Dye Works flosses, all different purples, and I'm stitching this on a 32 count pearl gray Belfast linen. It's so pretty. I love this motif here. So I worked on this and I added in this one here, just kind of bouncing around doing all the different motifs. So this one's really fun. I'm really enjoying working on that. But like I said, I got the ink circles bug, and on Instagram, Heather at Kitty Quaker and another Instagrammer, I forget her name, they started hashtag Ink Circles Sunday, which I have been participating in the past few weeks. It's really fun to just work on one of my many ink circles WIPs on that day. And definitely check out Heather's Instagram because she posted all of her ink circles WIPs in like a giant pile, and she has like 8 of them and they're all stunning, very enabling. So once I finished Forest Flower, I decided to start this one, which is Lace Flowers by Ink Circles. And I started it and I just couldn't put it down, and I got one quadrant pretty much complete. So this is so fun. I'm using the called for Weeks Dye Works. This orange is so fun. I've like never used a color like that before, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. And this is on 32 count Platinum Lugana. So it's so pretty. I'm really, really enjoying this. I think there's 7 colors in here. Like I said, I'm using all the called for Weeks Dye Works. Super fun. This is a pretty quick stitch. I think it's 89 stitches by 89 stitches, so not too big, and super, super cute. Okay, so how to start more ink circles pieces, because why not? So this was another start along with Catherine of Paper Crane Stitches. She had started this piece, which is Quaker Floral Puzzle by Ink Circles, and I was like, I need to start that. She ended up restarting it because she wanted to change some of the colors, so we're both about the same amount of progress. So here's my start. I'm using all the called for DMC. Look how pretty it is. Okay, I'm obsessed with this. Like, look how gorgeous this is. I'm using 36 count charcoal Edinburgh linen by Zweigart, and like I said, all the called for 2 over 2. So pretty. It's so pretty. So Catherine is subbing out this gold. She's doing a purple instead of it, and it looks amazing, but I was too chicken and just went with the called for. So this is going to be big. It's going to be like 12 inches square, but it is just so, so pretty, and I love it. So speaking of ink circles, I'm also hoping to start another ink circles pattern soon, because why not? So my plan is to start Tapestry by Ink Circles in the next couple of weeks. I have all the called for flosses. I'm just missing 2 because they were out of stock on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So hopefully those will be coming in soon. And the fun thing about this is, so Quaker Floral Puzzle is 225 stitches high by 225 wide, and I'm stitching it on 36 count. Tapestry is 199 stitches wide by 199 stitches high, and I'm stitching it on 32 count, and they'll work out to the same size. I didn't realize I had done that, and I'm like, I feel very proud of myself. How cool is that? We can use different size fabrics to make pieces the same size. So kind of proud of that happy accident. Okay, what else do I have going on here? I still have several more WIPs to show you. Okay, so this one here is Red Rhapsody by Rosewood Manor. Love this. Been working on this for quite a while because rabbit hole squirrel, you know. So here's where I'm at. I'm stitching this on 36 count white even weave by Fabric Flare, and I'm using a variegated sulky floss. I don't remember the number, but it'll be on my Instagram. So yeah, so I made it all the way down to the bottom. I was kind of stitching in pages and working my way across. I have I have one more section here to get the full alphabet. So there's still quite a bit left to do on this one, but it's really fun just to kind of pick up and set back down. And these flowers are really fun to do down here. She has a couple of others in the series. So there's Blue Rhapsody and I don't know if it's called Green Rhapsody or something like that. And I have those kitted up and waiting in the wings. Also going to use the 36 count white even weave because I think it really makes the colors pop. So I got a lot of things kitted up waiting to go. So that is Red Rhapsody. Another project I pulled out that I haven't worked on in quite a while is Rose Quaker by Wienberg Design. And when I pulled this out, I was like, why haven't I worked on this in like 2 years? I love it. It's so pretty. Oh, and it's all wrinkled because it's been balled up in a project bag for like 2 years. So this is on 36 count flax Edinburgh linen with the called for DMC 2/2. And I worked on this rose when I last picked it up, and it's so, so pretty. So again, giant piece on a fat quarter, and it'll eventually get done. But for now, I'm really happy to have picked it up and gotten a few more stitches into it, and it was super fun. That's the thing. I feel like if I touch all of my WIPs at least once every couple of years, I'm still making progress on them, right? Okay, another Wienberg design I worked on was Patchwork Quaker. And this is a project I'm stitching on 36 count aqua Edinburgh linen with a called for DMC 2/2. And I worked kind of on the bottom here. I got this motif finished. I'm getting close to a finish on this one. I think I'm about 2/3 complete. It's so pretty. I love all the different motifs in it. The colors are gorgeous. The linen's beautiful. It's just a really, really enjoyable piece to work on. And you know, I have like 16 more Wienberg designs I want to start because that's how it goes. Okay, what else do I got here? Also, it's a good thing you can't see behind me because I'm just literally piling all my projects here, and I'll get them sorted into their project bags later. This next piece is a start that I can't remember if I showed in my last video or not, but since then I have made a bit more progress on it. So this is Hibernation Day by Heartstring Samplery, and Caroline at Evertotes did a conversion to Roxy Floss for this. I'm stitching it on 32 count Panettone linen, and there's where I'm at. Look how cute that reindeer is. The colors on this are just so gorgeous, and the linen is awesome. So still got a ton of way to go. I probably won't work on this again until it gets more cold again, until it's winter again. I'm much more in the mood for like the bright colors, like Quaker Floral Puzzle, but it was a lot of fun to work on, and I will definitely get back to it because I would like to have this on my wall one day. Okay, just a couple more left. Gosh, I didn't realize how many projects I had worked on. This next one is also a long-standing WIP. So this is Northern Lights by Stitchrovia, and also closing in on a finish on this one. So here's where I'm at. It's so pretty. I love the colors in this. So I'm using all the call for DMC. It's on 25 count Lugana, and I'm using 3 strands over 2 to get that really rich, thick coverage. So I'm doing color completing on this one. I originally was kind of stitching left to right, and then I decided to color complete. So you can see like I've completed this color, this green, this purple. I got to get some more of those blues in. It's so fun. I really, really like this. And yeah, I mean, if I just chose to buckle down and finish any one of these, I could, but I have so many I want to finish, so I need to kind of spread the love, you know? Okay, this next one, also almost a finish. So let me find the chart here. So this is All the Hills Echoed by Blackbird Designs, and this is part of the For the Bird series. And this is number 4 out of 9 in the series. So I'll show you the whole thing, but here's my progress on this one. So I'm so close to being done this. I just have to finish the house and then add in the flowers here. It's so pretty. So here's it all together so far. I'm using all the called for threads, which are Weeks Dye Works on 36 count vintage country mocha linen. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. I love it. Love it, love it. So I will get back to that one and I will finish that one soon. And actually, to motivate myself to just finish this one off, why don't I go ahead and give away the chart, because then I know I need to finish this for my next video if I'm going to be mailing the chart away. So if you'd like to be entered to win this chart, just leave a comment with the word hills in your comment below. And yeah, that will motivate me to finish, because I don't have that much, right? I just have like this part of the house and these 2 flowers. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, the last project I have to show you is Silver Creek Samplers Sing a Sampler. So this project I've had in my stash for quite a while. It was a 4-part series. There's the first chart here. And Michelle, Knotted Owl on Instagram, and I have messaged back and forth for a while. We like a lot of the same projects. And she had mentioned that she was hoping to start this pattern. And I was like, I'm totally down. And she was like, hey, I think I'm going to message Hannah at Evertotes and see if they can do a floss conversion for this. And I was like, yes, please. All aboard. So we have this awesome floss conversion to Roxy Floss Co. for this chart. It's now available on their website. There's a Sal, we have a hashtag. Love to have you join in. If you have these charts, you don't have to be using the Roxy Floss Co. conversion. You can use DMC, the called for, whatever you want. Our hashtag is Sing a Sal instead of Sing a Sampler. It's fun. Yeah, so I started this past weekend and I'm really enjoying it. So here's my progress on it. So I'm stitching this on 32 count Eureka linen by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm using the Roxy Floss Co. conversion. So look how cute it is. So you can see I'm doing it a bit differently because my words are on top instead of on the bottom. And that's because I'm stitching this in a stacked formation instead. So the way it's charted is there's 4 parts and you stitch it all in one long row, and it's like super long and skinny, but I'm stitching it like this, stacked, the 2 charts on top, 2 charts on the bottom, and there's a bunch of people on Instagram that have stitched it that way. I'm copying. The first person I saw that it did it was Stitching Jubilee on Instagram, totally copying them. I will have to make a couple adjustments because the words don't quite fit. They kind of extend a little bit past the second chart, so I just have to adjust the spacing a bit, but I think it should work out fine. So super, super fun. I'm excited to add in the deer. That's its little ears. I'm hoping to add that in today. So this has been really fun to work on. Okay, so that is all of my stitching WIPs. That was a lot. All right, and I already showed you my crochet WIP. I do have another crochet WIP to show. So once I finished my corner to corner blanket, I decided I needed to start another blanket. So I am doing a giant granny square blanket. I have threads everywhere. So this is really fun. So what I'm doing is I'm alternating gray and black. I have a ton of skeins of gray and black in my stash, which I didn't realize. So again, fingering weight yarn, then I'm holding double and I'm just alternating each round to get the different colors. So I got a ton of skeins. I'm hoping this can be nice and gigantic. It's been really fun and I'm really, really enjoying it. So yeah, holding fingering weight double, and I'm using a size 5 or a 5mm. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see it. A 5mm crochet hook. I'm using the Clover Amour crochet hooks. It's the only ones I've ever tried because everyone was saying they're great. I really like them. The handle's nice and squishy and super comfortable to crochet with. Okay, so I had mentioned that I'm giving away this chart. Use the word hills to be entered. I also want to give away my copy of C is for Coffee because I'm done stitching it now. So I'd love to pass it along. So if you'd like to be entered for this, just use the word coffee in your comment and I will draw a winner on my next video, which I'm hoping to film Easter weekend. So fingers crossed that that happens. I do have one more giveaway. So I had ordered some fabric from Number 12 Stitch Co. in Australia, and she very kindly sent along 2 packs of small cuts, ornament cuts, mystery fabric. So she said it's all different linens, counts and sizes, but they're all small cuts, like which would be perfect for ornaments or smalls. And so we have this one, which I'm going to call the Brights pack, and this one that's more of the neutrals. They're gorgeous, like so pretty. They're not labeled with the count or anything like that, and I haven't opened them, so I'm not sure how big the pieces are, but I would say they're probably like 6 by 6, 9 by 9, something like that. So if you'd like to be entered to win, use the word neutral if you want to be entered for the neutrals pack, and bright if you want to be entered for the bright pack. So I'll draw a winner. Like all my giveaways, I'll mail anywhere in the world, so go ahead and enter. All right, that's almost all I wanted to talk about, except, you know how I was saying when I start stitching a certain designer, I'm obsessed with them and want to stitch all their things? Well, I'm currently on a bit of a Rosewood Manor kick and had to buy a bunch of their charts recently. So I wanted to show this to you, just in case anyone else is also loving them and wants to stitch any of these along with me. So this first one is Dogwood Lace. Isn't that gorgeous? Ah, I love this so much. I love it's monochrome because a lot of times Rosewood Manor charts have 500 million color changes. So it's nice to do the monochromatic once in a while. But it's so pretty. And I think this is stitched with WIPS Baked Apple. Yeah. So I think this will look gorgeous in Roxy Floss Valley Red. It is. So that's beautiful. This next one is Green on Green. Again, another monochromatic piece. It's gorgeous. I am loving it. So that has to be a must stitch. And then this one, which is the classic million color changes, this is Quaker Village. And if you can see here, the fences all the way around are back stitched, like all the different houses. I just think this is so fun. And this is charted in DMC. It's like a million DMC colors. By a million, I mean more like 20 probably. Oh gosh, no, there's more than 20. Yeah, so there's the DMC list. Oh, can you see it? There's a DMC list. It's a lot. So I would love to start this eventually because it's super cute. I also have my eye on some charts from Nashville. So one of them that I am really itching to get my hands on is the Blackbird Designs Birds of a Feather chart. So I think I ordered that from 123 Stitch and that should be coming soon. Also ordered the Float Like a Butterfly, Sting Like a Bee collaboration between Heartstring Samplery and Plum Street Samplers. Love that. And also can't wait to get my hands on Every Opening Flower by With Thy Needle and Thread. So those will be hopefully some upcoming starts once I finish a few things. Okay, so that was a bit of a whirlwind through everything I've been working on lately. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found something to inspire you. Maybe I can inspire you to take up crochet. I didn't have any knitting to show this time, but I might have some to show next time. So hopefully I'll be back to see you again in a couple of weeks. Hope you're having a great weekend, that you're getting some time into craft. And until I see you next time, happy stitching. Bye.